guys, this is Angie H, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts Over Tea. This is your weekly dose of tea where we dive right into holistic health, societal issues, and even a platform that gives you that motivation and inspiring thoughts that would help you see the rainbow even in your darkest cloud. So I want you to sit back, grab that cup of tea, and enjoy the show.
Hey guys, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts Over Tea. This is your host, Angie H. Thank you for tuning in today. So, do you have a friend that is toxic? Do you have that friend that is always about them? No matter what, you always seem to be in their shadow? Well, you could be suffering from TFS, Toxic Friend Syndrome, and you could be eligible for compensation. Only kidding. But let's just talk about it. So Wednesday, I asked a question. Basically, how do you survive toxic friends? And what sparked this thought was me watching an episode last week of Insecure, which is on HBO by Issa Rae. I really like that show. Shout out to my brother-in-law for putting me onto it. I think I binge watched the first 2 seasons so that when it started back coming on, I will be caught up. But anyway, so Molly and Issa, for those of you that have not seen the show, they're best friends. They do everything together, but as the season progressed, you could see that the dynamic between them have changed. When Issa started to put herself first, trying to put her goals first, actually accomplish things that she didn't think that she was qualified to do, it seemed like their dynamic changed. Molly began to find reasons to be upset, and even in her highlight of her moment where she was doing this block party and it was a success, everybody was having fun. They were having fun. They seemed like they became back in sync. Where Molly should be happy, she let one thing trigger her to make her just flip out on Issa all over again. And that made me think about it, because I know for me personally, I have been in those situations where I am that friend, I am that ride or die, I'm that show up person, I'm that prayer partner, I am everything that is needed. But as soon as I start to shine, or as soon as I decide to start putting myself first, there's an issue, and it comes back on you as you're trying to be funny, you think you're better than me, but as long as you're standing in silence, or you're standing in a place where you're not growing, everybody's okay. And this is not just even toxic friends, this is toxic family. Like, you have those moments, and you have those family members that don't want you to get no farther than where they see you. They don't want you to accomplish anything, because then it takes them out of the spotlight. And I think there's a confusion that people seem to not grab hold to, and that is everyone can win. The world is a big enough place that everyone can win. Even if you're called to do, or your purpose lines up with the exact same purpose of somebody else, you're going to do it different, and you're going to be called to different people. I don't really think that people see that. So I asked that question. And one of my Facebook friends, Michelle, from Selections Entertainment, shout out to her. You guys heard her on the podcast before. She basically said, hey, discuss it and then move forward. And that was one thing that I noticed, that, hey, we don't take the time and share. Okay, this is how I feel about it. This is how it makes me feel. And just simply addressing it. Addressing it doesn't mean that, all is forgiven all the time, but addressing it lets them know how you feel in that moment. And this is why I have to separate myself. Sometimes people don't realize that they're doing it. sometimes people know very well what they're doing. Let's be clear. They just don't like to be called out on it. As long as you're just going with the flow and whatever blueprint that they set up for you guys to do, everybody is okay with it. So it's just basically knowing that you're in a toxic friendship. Sometimes we don't even know the signs, because a lot of times we are battling different things within ourselves, or we have adapted to certain environments and certain behaviors because that's all we know. So we don't really see it as toxic. It's not until somebody else actually points it out and say, hey, you might need to look at some signs. You might need to change this. That friend that you are all for, why they don't never show up for you. Sometimes it takes that person outside to just basically let you know, hey, that is not how friendships should go. A friendship should never be one-sided, first of all. And that's a sign that, hey, I could be in a situation that is not beneficial to either one of us. And then Katie from Gen XYZ podcast, shout out to them as well. That's a dope podcast. Y'all should check it out. But she just basically said that, hey, everyone plays a part in your life, whether they're positive influences or negative influences, but everything is to help you grow. Once you recognize it, once you acknowledge that this relationship is toxic, then remove yourself from it. And that's me. I'm a deleter. And I'm not talking about just social media. I will delete you right out of my life. But it took me time to get there. I will always try to figure out how, or I will just go back to that pattern that was set. Like, okay, let me go back to what I was doing that was keeping the peace. That I was pretty much forfeiting my own happiness in the things that I wanted to do because I wanted to serve and be the supporter that everybody else needed. But now I'm in a place where my cutoff game is really strong. If it threatens my peace, it's costing me too much. I had to fight to even get to where I am now, and I still have a long way to go. But my thing is just being able to recognize that the environments that I'm in that are causing me to miss my mark is not conducive to my growth. So, which means I can't even plant seeds in this relationship because they're not even going to get the nutrients that they need, the sun, the love, the whatever it needs to grow. I'm not even going to get that. So now I'm suffocating myself and I'm suffocating my purpose because I am trying to be everything to everybody that I am losing sight of who I really am. And then that is why we have to be very mindful of the connections that we align ourselves with. Are they connections based on that need that we have in that moment? Or are they actually divine connections that have been set up, that have been created, that have been laid out to get us to the very destiny that we are working so hard for? But honey, we got those friends out there in the world. And some people do it intentionally. Some people may not know. Some people are used to certain behaviors, so they act accordingly. And it's because nobody has ever called them out on it. And some people you can call some people out and they will be defensive. They will turn it around. I'll tell you one thing about a master manipulator. When they get called out about something that makes them uncomfortable, they give them a second. They're going to figure out how it's your fault. And if you don't have a strong sense of self and you can't function in situations that make you uncomfortable, those people will suck you right back in and you're going to go right back to the position that they wanted you to play. I'm not trying to be in a position to play any parts that I was not created for. And that's the thing. People are acting and playing parts and trying to play in, basically tell you who you're supposed to be in your life. So they will dim your light in your own life so that you can help them shine. People much rather look the part than actually be the part. You're not even showing up, you're not even being present in this position that you're in because you pretended to be something that you're not. I know so many people that will sit there and compete with everybody in their circle because they're insecure in themselves. They're not confident in themselves. They don't know who they are. They are pretty much committing identity theft in their own circles because they're taking on the identities of everybody else that it was not for them because they don't even know who they really are. So much like chameleons, chameleons blend in to wherever environment they're in at that moment. They change their color. They adapt to the environment. That is how some friends are. They're chameleons trying to blend in to whatever you got going on. And one thing about chameleons, when you begin to see them change, it is the prettiest thing that you would see, right? He's like, oh, that's pretty dope. Like, everything is green, and now this chameleon is green. Oh, now he's turning blue. And that's much like people. They put on these masks. They blend in. They blend into the environment. They blend into the social circles. They blend into all that. So now it's pretty cool how they adapt to every situation. But that's only because they don't know their identity. So whenever you come out of their environment that they're used to, it makes them uncomfortable. So now you begin to see who they really are. And that's just like what happened on Insecure, that episode. Issa was getting praised. Everybody was excited. And so Molly took that a moment that she was happy for that moment until everybody else started giving her the praise for it. And then she had to pick an argument about why she should have cut her off a long time ago and things like that. So, and it just made me think, we've all been there, but we got to be very mindful of our time spent and the people that we let in our environment. We're sitting around wondering why we are not growing. We're wondering why we can't get ahead. We're wondering why we're drained after we get off the phone with certain people. Once we're in their presence, it's always about them. You can't never share your good news. Like I said, I have family members like that. Family members, ex-friends, all that. It is always about, well, let me tell you about my day. Okay, but I was telling you about me. Oh, I remember when I did that. And this is what I did. Everything turned back to them. That is a sure sign that you are in a toxic friend relationship. But here are just a few little signs to look for, and to see if you're suffering from toxic friend syndrome. One of them, there's a whole lot of drama. It's always drama when it's surrounding them. They always got a story. Somebody done made them mad. Every time you talk to them, it's drama. It's drama. Like, you can't go a whole conversation without hearing about some drama. Another one is everything is about them. Like, hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. Everything is not about you. It's other people out here going through different things. Everything is not always about you. And I understand that we all go through things, but if they can't even take the time to listen to what you're going through, that's toxic. Everything is not about you, because I got things going on too. My children acting the fool too, not just yours. And they constantly put you down. Oh my gosh, like I said, family and friends, been there, done that. They always put you down. Even when you are having a high moment, they're letting you know what you did wrong. even if they have nothing new, they will keep telling you what you did when you were 16, 17, 18. They tell you everything that you did last month, whatever it is that they can use to bring you down, they'll use it to bring you down. They don't care nothing about your accomplishments because you're not talking about them. They don't care about the different things that you're preparing yourself for. They're gonna find a way to tell you why that's not a good idea. They compete with you. Oh my God. So I know you have those friends that especially when you trying to go out and you dressed or whatever, or they come dressed or whatever. And I remember that, especially high school, but it's grown women still do this. They will go change. They will go change because now you look better than me. So now I have to go and change. I have to go and do something. Or you accomplish something and they turn around and do the same thing. You start a business because that was what was given you. They turn around and start the same business. You write a book. You take a new class. You learn a trade. Whatever it is, they turn around and go and do the same thing. They're constantly competing with you. And you trying to figure out why are we doing the exact same thing? But they're never gonna acknowledge that you did it first. That's the thing with the competition in the toxic friendship. They're never gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna take this class too because you inspired me. They're never gonna give you that credit because they should have been the ones that came up with it first. So now I'm gonna compete with you and I'm gonna show you how you should have been doing it in the first place. So yeah, you're doing it and you got a little bit of success, but now let me go to the extreme so that I can look like I got it going on more than you. So when people acknowledge the fact that we're doing the same thing, they're gonna look at me more because I spent way more money, or because I put myself on a bigger platform. Not that I was called to that platform, but I put myself on a bigger platform. So I can show people that this is how it's done, even though we're doing the same thing and I got the idea from you. Be very careful of those people. I'm telling you, some people are in your camp to keep an close eye on what you're doing so that they can duplicate every move that you make. Again, they secretly copy you. They cross your boundaries. You may set boundaries. You set the tone for your friendships, and they constantly are crossing the line. They're constantly doing the thing that you ask them not to do over and over and over again. But they don't really care because they really not friends with you. They really don't care about you. So they're going to keep crossing that line because they don't really have any respect for you. They just have you around. Toxic friends are needy. They are very needy. It's me. Listen to me. Let me cry to you. Okay, I know that you called me because you're going through, but let me tell you about me, honey. Everything they need you to show up. They need you at every event. They need you on the phone. They need you to make them feel better. They are constantly needy. A toxic friend, and this is my last one. There are more, but this is my last one. These are my top 8. They're jealous of other friends. I've had toxic friendships where it was always an issue with me talking to someone else, or me saying, oh, this is my girlfriend, this is my homegirl. It was always an issue. They had to be the center of my world. They had to be the only friend. So they were always constantly jealous of other people. And that's only because they want you to always be available for them. So if you start to hang out with other people, you start to be supportive, and you share that support that you were giving them, and they have to share it with somebody else, that's an issue. So they're very jealous of other friends. And this is some of the things that you need to look for. Like I said, we might be eligible for some compensation, like those commercials say, from this TFS, toxic friend syndrome, because that is draining, and we really don't know the wear and tear that it has on us mentally, emotionally, and physically, having to deal with toxic people, toxic family members, toxic friends. Like, eventually that will start to wear you down because you're giving of yourself so much so that you have nothing left when it's time for you to accomplish, or you don't have anybody to show up for you because you have simply allow yourself to constantly be in these toxic friendships. So when it's time for you to celebrate your achievements, it's nobody there. That weighs on you. That weighs on your heart. That weighs on your mind, because now you have shown up for everybody and nobody's there to show up for you. So just be very careful. A lot of times they could be mean to you, and it could very well be like Michelle said, maybe you just need to have that conversation, but be okay when you have that conversation that it may not go according to the plan that you wanted. That conversation may not lay out or like you had talked to yourself in the mirror, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let her know this. Like you practice this in the mirror. You done had this conversation, and then when it's time to have the real talk, it don't go according to plan. So now you're even more upset than you were before. So be very careful. Look for the signs, and remove yourself from situations that are not beneficial to where you're trying to go. And that may be requiring that, hey, it might be a season of self. It may be a season of healing yourself. So you may not even have a bunch of friends, a bunch of people around. Allow God to put you, or the Most High to put the people that are really for you in your path. Because if we continue to keep picking our own friends, and we constantly are picking people that are toxic, then it might be a time and a place that we have to sit down and look within ourselves and say, okay, why am I drawing this? Why am I drawn to this negativity? Why am I drawn to these certain toxic environments? What is it in me that I need to release? Like, what piece of the toxic landfill resides in me that these people keep coming to dumping themselves on me? So that's the things that we need to think about. I just wanted you to just have that discussion, tell you my thoughts on it, and just give you a couple signs, well, a few signs of toxic friends and relationships. And, having those conversations, getting the healing that you need, being okay with removing yourself are some of the ways that you can deal with these type of friendships. So stay tuned, and I'll be back with our Black Excellence 365 moment.
Hey guys, Coach Angie here, defining our purpose. What does that mean to you? What does that entail? What does that look like? What do you feel that you may need in order to define your personal purpose? Could it be you need a little inspiration and motivation? Could it be that you need something that's going to help you with your spiritual growth and personal growth? Could it be that you need just a little jump start to begin that holistic health journey that you keep saying that you're going to start? Well, you can find some of these things to help you on my website, www.definingourpurpose.com. If you click on the DOP tab, you can actually find my devotional workbook, Anspirations, ANNESPIRATIONS. This is something that helped me in my dark days, and I wrote it from a place that I needed to find my own personal spiritual growth. Also, you can click on the Niche Charles tab, and there you will find my holistic products that I create by hand, as well as my coaching and different services that I provide. No matter what you need, just know that you don't have to do it alone, that there is someone that you can talk to, and I'm that person if you need me. DefiningOurPurpose.com is where you can find all the information. Also, Anspirations is also found on Kindle and Amazon.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Thirsty Thoughts Over Tea. And of course, our Black Excellence 365 moment should be about the actress, producer, writer that sparked the whole toxic friend conversation, Issa Rae. Her real name is Jo Issa Rae Diop. She's a Senegalese American actress, writer, and producer. She first garnered attention for her work on her YouTube web series, The Awkward Black Girl. Since 2011, she has continued to develop her YouTube channel, which she has various short films, web series, and content by people of color. She gave further recognition by co-writing and starring in the HBO television series Insecure, which is what I told you guys about. And for her acting work on Insecure. So not only is she co-writing this show, she's actually an actress in this show. She has received 2 Golden Globe Award nominations for Best Actress in a television series, musical, or comedy, and a Primetime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. Issa released her memoir, and it's titled Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl. I have that book, have not started it yet, but it is in my collections of books to read this year. She co-starred in Little, so you remember Little, the movie that came out, from the girl from Blackish. Oh my God, her name escapes me, but that was her first time producing at such a young age. She was like 14. So if you have not seen Insecure and you've seen Little, Issa is the one that started right beside her, that was the friend that was kind of helping her out. She had a supporting role in The Hate U Give. That is an awesome movie if you have not seen it. And she starred in 2 movies. One was The Photograph, which is a great movie, and The Lovebirds. So Issa Rae is young, and she's actually, establishing herself as a force. And I thought that was just simply amazing. Like I said, just the dynamics of what she has going on inside of her show Insecure that makes you just think and take a look at yourself. Just everyday life. And she's providing a space for other people of color to be able to express themselves in the arts and acting and different things like that. So she is our Black Excellence 365 moment. Find out more about it. If you haven't checked out Insecure, check it out. I'm pretty sure you've seen her in other movies if you have not seen that show. But support. Like I said, I have her book. It's on my reading list amongst all the ones I have. So maybe when I get into and I dive into this book, maybe I'll come back and share some little nuggets from you guys. But Issa Rae, our Black Excellence 365 moment. You guys have a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to Thursday Thoughts Over Tea. I hope that you enjoyed the show. If you feel so inclined, please subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple, TuneIn, and wherever you get your awesome podcasts, and also on Anchor FM. So remember, we're here every Thursday for some much needed chit chat over your hot cup of tea.